Hello and welcome back to the channel. Happy Friday. Today I've got a fun video for you guys. I'm going to be going over this 2008 Ibanez RG120. But before I give you guys a full review on this guy, I'm going to get into a little history on Ibanez. So Ibanez has been making guitars since the early 1900s, but officially as a brand, it got its start in 1957. And you can find some acoustic guitars from as early as the 1920s with the name Ibanez on the headstock. But as far as electric guitars, in 1957 they started coming out in Japan under the Ibanez name. And they got their start making just copies of Gibson style and Fender style guitars. However, what separated them from everybody else is they made incredibly high quality instruments. So during the late 50s, 60s, up till the 70s, they were making some really high quality instruments that just basically look like Gibsons and Fenders. And a little fun fact about the early Ibanez guitars is Van Halen 1 is actually recorded on a 1975 Ibanez Destroyer, which is basically a copy of a Gibson Explorer. So Ibanez was making copies of everybody else's guitars up until late 1977, and in 1978 there was a lawsuit by Gibson that was like, hey, we're upset with you guys basically making money off our designs. So the lawsuit went through, Gibson ended up winning, and Ibanez had to stop making copies of everybody else's guitars. And in the late 70s they started putting out some of their own original models, and they still had some of the best quality build at the time, so they were still selling guitars quite a bit, and they were starting to solidify themselves as their own brand instead of just copying everybody else. So fast forward into the 80s, they're starting to make more and more of a name for themselves. They've got the Roadstar series, they've got the Iceman series, and they're still producing the Destroyer here and there throughout the 80s, and then everything begins to kick up in 1987 with Steve Vai. He was looking for a signature guitar that was able to do what every other guitar out there wasn't able to do. So he got with Ibanez. He was like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. I want 24 frets, a super thin neck. I want Floyd Rose, everything, basically every specification that he wanted. And Ibanez was like, okay, this is what we can do for you. And they came out with the Gem, which is his signature guitar. And it's basically this exact body style, but it's got a nice little handle in here. It's usually got a single coil in the middle of these two humbuckers, but basically this is the body style that he came up with, and Ibanez started putting out the Gem for him in 1987, and the Roadstar series turned into the RG series, and this guitar was born. So late 80s, it's still the era of the Super Strat. You've got RGs coming out. There's a whole bunch of different pickup configurations, different neck profiles. And then fast forward into the 90s, Ibanez is actually the first brand to mass produce 7 and 8 string guitars, which obviously now you guys know today is pretty standard throughout a whole bunch of brands, but Ibanez was the one to do it first. And now today you can't walk into a guitar store without seeing some kind of Ibanez. They make pretty entry-level guitars all the way up to $3,000-$4,000 guitars. And from my experience, every Ibanez that I've played is not a cheaply made instrument by any means. Even this is one of the most budget level models. Ibanez makes some fantastic guitars. Okay, so now that we've got a little history on Ibanez, I'm going to bring you guys up close to this specific guitar. This is a 2008 Ibanez RG120. So the RG120 was a very budget. This was the bottom of the line RG model. It was produced between 2001 and 2012. This was actually a Guitar Center exclusive model, and it came in some very basic finishes. It came in black, red, I believe blue. This is actually a custom paint job. It's definitely not bad looking, not professionally done by any means, but gets the job done. I have plans on repainting this, and I'll be posting videos on that if you guys want to stay tuned. And other than that, it's got a super thin, this is a Wizard 2 neck. It's a 3-piece maple, very sturdy, again, very thin, 24 fret rosewood fretboard. Really solidly made guitar. And then on the body, it's agathis, which is pretty lightweight. It's not as heavy as, say, alder or mahogany. I think in total this guitar comes out to about 6.5, maybe 7 pounds. And then the stock pickups that came in this guy are the Ibanez Infinity. Got the Infinity 3 in the neck and the Infinity 4 in the bridge. Got your standard Stratocaster style tremolo. Got 1 volume, 1 tone, and a 3-way switch. And your standard output jack. Nothing too crazy on this. We get up to the headstock, beautiful Ibanez logo, little RG series on that. Got your 6 inline tuners, and something interesting on this is there's no little screw holes on these tuners. They're something that Ibanez put out just to kind of minimize all the holes getting drilled into the wood of the guitar. And another thing that I notice is these are very, very nice tuners for being on such an entry-level guitar. And then you'll see on the serial number, it's a 2008 model made in Indonesia. And this thing is pretty nice, and I'll get into how it sounds now. Okay, I'm going to start on the clean channel with the bridge pickup. Okay, now I'm on neck and middle. Okay, still on the clean channel, this is the neck by itself. Okay, still on the neck pickup, but throwing on some distortion. Okay, distortion, this is neck and middle. Okay, and this is the bridge just by itself. Okay, so that's just about it. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you guys like this guitar. But other than that, that's all I have for you. Thank you guys.